Hello, sir.
Yes, Ravi.
So actually, I joined the course yesterday itself. Can you let me know where we are, I mean, what I'm lagging behind?
Ravi, as of now, we have completed 7 papers
Okay.
from IS 1012, IS 104, and IS
Mm.
106 to 108. So, the one chapter or the one paper which we are discussing now is IS 105, which we started yesterday. Okay, this is the one paper which we are yet to complete. Otherwise, rest of all 7 papers we have completed the syllabus.
So how can I
So,
know about that? I mean, what should be my approach
sorry.
to what should be my approach to it? I mean, to understand all of that. Can I get any material or something to
You will
go?
get the material. Yes, you will get the materials and videos as well. You can contact the admin team so that they will provide the material as well as the recording videos also, and we'll have revision sessions as well. So after the completion of the syllabus, we'll have revision sessions as well. So you can utilize those revision sessions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
ఈ ఇయర్ లో ఎగ్జామినేషన్ సెప్టెంబర్ లో ఉంటది అంటారా సార్ అక్టోబర్?
సాయి గారు నాకు అంత ఐడియా లేదండి. అదేది అటు ఇటు అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. మనకు పర్టిక్యులర్‌గా స్టిక్ అయ్యి చెప్పలేము.
లాస్ట్
సెప్టెంబర్
ఇయర్
ఎట్లా అని.
నవంబర్ లో చెప్తున్నారు కదా.
లాస్ట్ ఇయర్ అవును. అందుకనే. అందుకని నేనేది కమిట్మెంటే చెప్పట్లేదు. సో, అట్లా ఇట్లా అవుతుంది. ఓకే. Fine. I'm sharing my screen again. Any questions as of now? So as of now, just to give a brief to summarize, we talked about. One second. Where is this PDF? So we have seen provisions with respect to the approvals and the requirements for the new and old facilities. The what are the documentation they have to give, and also submission of safety reports and conducting safety audits, and how the authorities will respond back, and also providing the additional information. And also we have seen the roles of authorities as well as the occupier. And also we have seen the applicability of rules, the rule number 7 to 15 as well as 10 to 12. Okay, good. So we are talking about the preparation of on-site emergency plan. As we mentioned, as per the schedule 2, which are the details, they have to prepare an on-site emergency plan, and also they have to define a set of people and who is ultimate responsible for safety of the site, and also and who are authorized to take action in accordance with the plan in the case of an emergency. So there in the on-site emergency plan itself will clearly define who is an incident controller, who is the site controller. Site controller always will be the plant head or occupier. Sometimes lower designations as well. It is not mandated that okay he will be the mandatory this thing, but who can have authority or who can have power to take the decisions upon management's call, they can act as an site controller. The instant controller will be the production head or process head or site lead or etc. Depends on the designations which are defined by the organization. Okay, there they will define their roles and responsibilities. What are the actions supposed to be carried out or to be considered by the site controller as well as incident controller. Okay, yeah. So here the occupier shall ensure that the emergency plan prepared in accordance with sub rule number 1 taken into account of any modifications made in the industrial activity, and every person on the site who is affected by the plan is informed of its relevant provisions. So it has to be made as per the sub rule 1 in this specific rule, and also the modifications made in the industrial activity. In case of any modifications are taken place, we have to, sorry, Just a second, I'll mute everybody. In case of any modifications has happened in the site, those modifications also has to be considered, and who will be affecting people, who is be chance of affecting with this emergency situations, they have to be notified about the respective hazards or emergency situations, and they must be trained on. The occupier shall prepare emergency plan required under sub rule 1 of rule number 13 in the case of new industrial activity before the activity is commenced, in the case of an existing industrial activity within 90 days of from commencing into operations of these rules. If it is new, before the activity is going to start. If it is an existing before 1989, then for them they have a 90 days provision. Nowadays, all these are new facilities only. An occupier shall ensure the mock drill of the on-site emergency plan is conducted every 6 months. If somebody asks you in interview, okay, what is the legal requirement of mock drill? Mock drill क्यों करना है? So this is the one requirement we can tell that under so and so rule and so and so sub rule number 4, rule number 13, sub rule number 4, as per the MSIC rules 1989, we have to conduct a mock drill once in 6 months. And a detailed report of mock drill conducted under sub rule 4 shall be made immediately available to the concerned authority upon request. So sometimes the specific certain district officers, they used to ask us to submit a report or sending an email, but it should be readily available in case of any authority request for this. Okay. And the next rule, rule number 14, which is offsite emergency plan by the authority. So it shall be a duty of a concerned authority has identified in column number 2 of schedule 5 to prepare and keep update an adequate offsite emergency plan containing particulars specified in schedule number 12. We'll see what is the schedule number 12. I'll just switch to schedule. It is schedule number 9, schedule number 11, schedule number 12. So details to be furnished in the offsite emergency plan. So as per the schedule, as per the details, they have to make a offsite emergency plan. Here, the type of accidents and release to be taken into account, organizations involved, including key personnel and responsibilities of liaison arrangements between them, information about the site, including likely location or dangerous substances, then technical information of those physical and chemical characteristics of the dangers as well as the plants. Then identify the facilities and transport routes in case of any emergency. Then contact for the further advisors. Then communication links, including telephone, the radios, or any standby other methods. Then special equipment includes firefighting materials or any dangerous damage control or repair items. Then details of emergency response procedures. So how you are going to respond with the different types of emergencies. Then notify the public, evacuation arrangements, then other details. Okay, these are the things we cover in on-site emergency plan. Okay. For the purpose of enabling the concerned authority to prepare the on-site emergency plan required under sub-rule 1, the occupier shall provide the concerned authority within such information related to the industrial activity. This offsite emergency plan will be prepared by the authorities. So for to prepare such emergencies, as we seen, okay, list of the chemicals the people are there, or the industrial activity, what is the nature of operations, and the quantities of the chemicals which they are holding or which they are processing in the premises. Okay. Information related to the industrial activity under his control as a concerned authority may require, including the nature, extent, and likely effects off-site of a possible major accidents, and authority shall provide the occupier with any information inform the offsite emergency plan which relates to his duties under. So then once they take the information, accordingly the authority will define the respective responsibilities for the specific occupier. Okay. And sub-rule 3, the concerned authority shall prepare its emergency plan required under sub-rule 1 in the case of any new industrial activity before that activity is commenced. In the case of an existing industrial activity within 6 months of coming into operation of these rules, or the concerned authority shall ensure that the rehearsal of offsite emergency plan is conducted at least once in a calendar year. Once in a year, even used to do, they used to conduct the drills in the SCJT areas or industrial parks or tech parks, the authorities. That is about on-site, off-site emergency drills they used to conduct once in a calendar year. Okay. Then rule number 15, the information to be given to persons liable to be affected by major accident. Okay, it is nothing but the information to be given to the people who are working in the industry, because in case of any emergency happens, most of the people are affected, or everybody, there might be a chance of affecting people due to that emergency. So what we have to give, so the occupier shall take appropriate steps to inform persons outside the site, either directly or through district emergency authority, who likely to be in area which may be affected by a major accident, about a nature of major accident or hazard, and also the safety measures and do's and don'ts which should be adopted in the event of a major accident outside the site, which means the people outside the site, for example nearby vicinity or nearby the public or villagers or nearby occupants. So the emergency situations or the do's and don'ts, for example in case of any gas leakage, what are the chances of the leakage of the gas, what type of precautions to be considered, and what they have to do in case of any such leakage or symptoms if they come up with or if they found. The occupier shall take steps required under sub-rule 1 to inform persons about the industrial activity before the activity is commenced, except in the case of an existing industrial activity, in which the case of occupier shall compile within the requirement of sub-rule 1 within 90 days of coming into operation of these rules. It means, so we have to inform, if it is in a new facility, we have to inform about the industrial activity before activity is going to set up. That's where we go for public hearing. If you are going for setting up of any facility, is there any nearby occupants are there, it is in a highly dense population area, they're used to get the public hearing saying that okay, these are the operations, these are the chances of hazards will be there, and they talk about what are the benefits you will get from this establishing by this industry. Then you will come up with public hearing there. The district authorities and also the labor department, industrial establishment departments, everybody will be joining in that activity. Okay, that is about information to be given to the person who are liable, I mean who will be chance of affecting by the major accidents. Then disclosure of information, where for the purpose of evaluating information notified under the rule number 5 or 7 or 215, the concerned authority disclose that information to some other person, that the person shall not use that information for any purpose except for the purpose of concerned authority is disclosing it, or before disclosing the information the concerned authority shall inform the other person of his obligations under this paragraph, or in, I mean it is not putting about the secrecy of information, it should not be used until unless the authority gives a clearance. Then rule number 17, the collection, development and dissemination of information. So this rule shall be applied an industrial activity in which the hazardous chemicals which satisfies of any criteria laid in schedule 1, part 1 or column 2 part 2 may be involved. An occupier who has control of industrial activity in terms of subrule 1 of these rules shall arrange to obtain or develop information in the form of a safety data sheet as specified in schedule 9. The information shall be accessible upon request for reference. It is nothing but a preparation of safety data sheet. Okay, we'll see schedule number 9. Yeah, schedule number 9. So here they have to prepare a safety data sheet as prescribed here. Here you'll have 9 sections. Most of the time you'll have 16 sections in place. Okay, here we have 10 sections as per the MSITC rules. Okay, this is the requirement under, one second, rule number 17. Okay, collection, development and dissemination of information. Whatever the chemical you are manufacturing, you have to prepare a MSDS, material safety data sheet. Okay, the occupier will be obtaining or developing a safety data sheet as specified in schedule number 9 in respect of hazardous chemical handled by him shall ensure that the information is recorded accurately and reflects the scientific evidence used in making the hazard determination. In the case any significant information regarding the hazard of the chemical is available, it shall be added to the material safety data sheet and specified number 9 as soon as practicable. In case of any updates, in case of any changes happens, it has to be immediately updated as soon as possible. Then every container of hazardous chemical shall be clearly labeled or marked to identify the contents of the container. So it is about the labeling of the containers of your products and the name and address of the manufacturer or importer of the hazardous chemical and a physical, a chemical and toxicological data as per the criteria given part 1 of schedule 1. Okay, then in terms of sub rule of this rule, where it is impracticable to label a chemical in a view of size and the container of or nature of the package, a provision shall be made for other effective means like tagging or accompanying documents. Either if you are not able to label on the chemical container, then you have to give a tag or any set of documentation to give the details of the chemical. Okay, then import of hazardous chemicals. So this is rule number 18. The rule shall be applied to the chemicals which satisfies any of the criteria laid down in part 1 or schedule 1 in column 2 or part 2 of this schedule. Any person responsible for importing hazardous chemicals in India shall provide before 30 days or reasonably possible but not later than the date of import to the concerned authorities as identified in column 2 of schedule 5 the information pertaining to nature of the chemical, name and address of the person who is receiving. So second we'll see this schedule 5. Schedule 5, yeah. Okay, this is schedule 5. Authorities with legal, banking or duties and responsibilities. In column 2 you will see the list of authorities, and column 3 you will have the duties and responsibilities. To the respective people we have to give the information. Okay, so what are the details we have to submit before 30 days of a date of import, or if it is prior to that also will be provided. So here we have name and address of the person receiving the consignment in India. Basically, you will have the organization details, a port of entry in India, so to which port it is importing, mode of transport from the exporting country to India, how it is happening, either uh, through water transport or through air transport, and the quantity of chemical being imported, total quantity, and complete product safety information. It is about the MSDS or other respective details which can give the information about the product. Okay. So the concerned authority of the state is satisfied with the that the chemical being imported is likely to cause major accident. It may direct the importer to take such safety measures as concerned authority of state by deem appropriate. If it is chance to lead any major accident with that chemical, so the authority will give certain set of instructions. It has to be followed. In the case of concerned authority, the state of the opinion that the chemical should not be imported on safety or environmental consideration, such authority may direct a stoppage of such imports. So, if the chemical is banned in India, so automatically the authority will give you on the stoppage notice that you are not supposed to import the chemical. Then the concerned authority shall simultaneously inform the concerned port authority to take appropriate steps regarding the safe handling and stoppage of the chemicals while offloading or consignment within the port premises. So they will also have the coordinate with the port authorities on handling of those chemical as well as in case of any stoppage. And any person importing hazardous chemicals shall maintain the records of hazardous chemicals imported as specified in Schedule 10. And all the records so maintained shall be open for inspection by the concerned authority at the state of Ministry of Environment and Forest or any officer appointed by them in this behalf. So you should have the maintain the records as specified in Schedule 10. We'll see what it is. Schedule 10, Schedule 9. Here we have Schedule 10. Format for maintaining records of hazardous chemicals imported. So you'll have name and address of the importer, date and reference of number of issuance of permission to the import hazardous chemicals, description, physical chemical form, description of purpose of import, then description of storage and method of storage. Okay, these are the particulars we have to uh, or records we have to maintain. Then the importer of hazardous chemicals or person working on his behalf shall ensure the transport of hazardous chemicals from port to the entry to the ultimate destination in accordance with the Central Motor Vehicles Rules 1989 framed under provisions of Motor Vehicles Rule. According to that, we have to follow to take out our chemicals into our premises. Then improvement notices. This is rule number 19. If the concerned authority is of the opinion that a person has a contravened or provision of these rules, the concerned authority shall serve on him a notice in this para referred to as an improvement notice, requiring that the person to remedy the controversy or the case may be the matters or occasioning within 45 days. And the notice served under the sub-rule 1 shall clearly specify the measures to be taken by the occupier in remedying said controversies. It is simple that basically the people or authorities will come for inspection. So there we will give a notice saying that okay, these are the non-complaints. You have to do or implement these conditions. That is why that is how this improvement notices will work. Okay. Then power of central government to modify the schedules.
Sir, improvement notice means, sir? Can you describe?
Now, improvement notice in the sense basically the authorities will come for the inspections, right? So they will see your process, they will monitor your activities, and they will verify your the existing controls in place. In case if they feel the existing controls which you are implemented, which are not meeting the purpose or which are not sufficient, then they will give the further controls or amendments or suggestions to do certain modifications or additional requirements for the improving the conditions of safety. That is nothing but improvement notices. Okay, it is nothing but recommendations which they give. Okay. So power of central government to modify these rules. So the central government may at the any time by notification of official gazette make suitable changes. That is there this thing. Okay. With that, we done with this rules. Okay. To summarize what are all things we have seen, I'll just take a quick recap. So these rules have came into the picture in 1989. Okay, it is power concerned by the section 6 and 8 of 25 of the Environmental Protection Act 1986. That also we'll see in future. Then we talk about the hazardous chemicals, the list of chemicals which are listed in respective schedules. Then we talk about what who is mean by importer and exporter, and we have seen definition of major accidents. Then what are mean by MH installations. Then we talked about the site and threshold quantities. So when you're asking for 19 MSIT rules, you can talk about the duties of the occupier, and also you can talk about the authorities responsibilities. You can talk about the what are the provisions for getting the approval, and also modifications or preparation of safety reports, and as well as audit reports. And also you can talk about the import chemical import requirements, and also you can talk about the additional information required by the authorities. All these points you can write with respect to this MHIC rules. Okay, just to summarize 10 12 points what and all we have discussed from here. You can talk about preparation of on-site emergency plan and off-site emergency plan by the authorities. Okay, then you can talk about the information which you are giving to the public who is uh, staying in and around the facilities, and disclosure of information. Then development of MSDS. Okay, fine. So we're talking about schedules. These are the schedules and with their quantities. Okay. So here we have the definitions. What is mean by flammable? What is mean by extremely flammable? The flash point lower than the or equal to 23 degrees centigrade, and boiling point less than 35 degrees centigrade, and very highly flammable liquids. Okay. Then you have part 2 of list of hazardous and toxic chemicals. I think it is a very big list, or I think around 600 change of chemicals you will see here. 684. These are the the total list of hazardous chemicals. And schedule 2 talking about the isolation storage at installations other than which are covered under schedule 4. So here the each installation, the distance between each installation is less than 500 meters, and these are the quantities as per the schedule, how much quantity you can keep. For this quantity the rules are applicable, rule 4, 5, 7 to 9 and also 13 and 15. For this quantity the rule applicable 10 to 12. Okay. So these are again a list of hazardous chemicals for application of rule number 5 and 7 to 15. 6 is not applicable for this list of chemicals. Okay, these are again list of chemicals the rule is applicable for, and even you have given the gas number also. Chemical abstract series number, it is nothing but it is in a unique number for each chemical. You will see lakhs of chemicals, different types of chemicals. For each chemical you will have a CAS number. Like Aadhaar, we have crores of people in India, but each Aadhaar number is unique for each person. Same way you will have this unique number for each chemical for the easy identification. Then this is part 2. Then the schedule number 4. About the installations and also what are the processes which we follow. Then schedule number 5 about the different types of authorities. You'll have Ministry of Environment and Forest, Chief Controller Imports and Exports, Central Pollution Control Board, and Chief Inspector of Factories, then Chief Inspector of Dock Safety, and Chief Inspector of Mines and Atomic Energy. These are the different set of people will be involved in this MH Site C rules. Then district collector. So district collector responsibilities, preparation of on-site emergency plan as per rule number 14. And central environment and explosive safety, enforcement and direction of procedures in respect of laboratories, industrial establishments, and isolation storage dealing with hazardous chemicals. So there will be enforcing authority on implementation of these rules. Okay. So this is the format for informing the incidents in case of any major accident happens. So you have to fill this format. Schedule number 6, site and also the registration number, license number, nature of industrial activity, and also national industrial classifications or the digital number. You will have the specific digital number. Then type of major accident, then you can just give it a tick mark: fire or explosion or combination, or emission of dangerous substances like leakage of any gases or major spillages. Then you will give the description of major accident, on which time, in which date or shift it has happened. Then emergency measures, causes of accident, and not known information will be supplied as soon as possible. If the information is not available, then you will give the extent of damage, number of people killed or injured or poisoned. Okay. Then this is about
Sir, sir,
yes, now.
Schedule 6 has to be filled only in case of major accident, na? As per
Yes,
description.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Ramesh. Okay. So again, schedule number 7, the information furnished for the notification of the sites. What kind of information to be given? Then schedule 8, information furnished on safety report.